Hi, I am continuing on with my study. I've been doing it for at least 49 years, and it's a short while, but it's like, oh, here we go again. And I had no idea that I would be a woman, and it would be kind of like, oh, okay, but then I realized, oh, okay. So then, pardon me while I'm trying to chew on some teeth here. You know how teeth can get, um, it's like, if anything reminds you of teeth, Saturn rules teeth. Capricorn rules teeth. So that's how you want to know what Capricorn kind of points at, and Saturn, it's like, well, some people have a lot of Libra and Aries, of course, and even Cancer. We're not going to lie to the kids and say, well, don't take care of your teeth or something like that. I mean, the teeth are a factor. We don't even know how big of a factor it is. Why did I get on the subject matter? Just to wrap it up, teeth are related to all of the organs in your body. That's why you want to not fuck with them so much. I mean, but you do want to, right? You want to take care of them. Well, there's so many technologies now that can help us. Really, it's just antidotes that can reverse the effects of the shit that they have done to your body. Okay, now I happen to have Chiron returning. It happens once every 50 years. And I was wondering about Chiron in my chart. I was like, okay, so, and you saw my video about it, and it's like, well, you got to look and see where your Chiron is. And I heard that Chiron stays in Aries for the longest period of time out of all the zodiac, but it takes 50 years to go all the way around. That's fascinating to me, because we know about Saturn and Uranus. Saturn takes pretty long. Uranus is Chiron is taking um, 50 years. Uranus takes longer, you know, um, it can denote kind of health issues when it starts to square, but the return itself is like, where are you going to go? You're like 90, 88 by then or something like that. And anyway, let's hope that the unpredictable thing doesn't really just be too unpredictable. I mean, weren't you preparing yourself already? Don't get attached to any of this. This is amazing when you go to sleep at night. You kind of, but really you can. Boy, it's, hi, how are you today? Hard to explain what the sages and people that end up writing books are going through. Let alone, you hear people talking. I mean, they write all kinds of different stories, right? Out of just trying to get by. You don't want to know the real story behind Ernest Hemingway and these people that ended up being great for us and our intellects when we read their material, or I guess, but really I haven't read any of that. I say be careful of everything you read and watch. Well, you should be knocking back all the things that aren't your interest because it could pollute your interest if you had one, right? You don't want to just start going, oh, you know, thanks for listening to all this. God, am I going to post this? Well, the concern, right, for me, right, I was talking about Chiron, how it's inching towards me having a Chiron return. And I might not be on this so much, and you're going to see a different me because we change, we're changing. And I didn't just say, oh, I'm losing all my love and sight of my ability to love. No, I mean, God, talk about that. Chiron in Aries, it's doing the polarity with Libra. It's its opposite, so it has to do. I mean, it's Mars ruled. Has to do with the Mars and Venus. It has to do with our independence in relationships. Say the value there, but really everybody's involved. Everybody has a Chiron somewhere, and everybody has an Aries somewhere. Anyway, right now, all of us have Chiron and Aries. It's in the sky, And Mercury is about to conjunct it, or it already did. Pardon me while I'm lost and now looking for it. And it's been really me inching up to this, where it's now just 3 degrees away, and it's hard to turn 50, I guess, for some people, but because you have wounds that come up, old wounds, and when I'm dialing in on, once you can heal your wounds, if you haven't been working on it from day one because you are born with this kind of, you look at it. Well, not everybody is literally born with it. See, I have Chiron in the first house, which is of the self and of the physical body, your literal early upbringing and stuff like this, and I think that early on was things going on that was beyond my control. I'm talking about while my mother was in her womb. When I was in her womb, maybe there was stress from her relationship happening, to put it lightly, that I couldn't control, and I'm born into this environment where I would continue to see the stress between the two, right? And then eventually she would show me, though, to get how to get. I mean, she got away from it. That was a tough scene. Um, and the thing is like I'm kind of removed from it. And yeah, there was a lot of bonding with me and my dad, who she would have to get away from him because he ends up. It's just I'm looking at it. It's like, well, it's none of my business. You see, because I have a relationship with my dad and I have a relationship with my mother. That's how these people were. You see, my mom never talked much bad about my dad, but I could just see what happened, right? He was kind of, oh, you can't treat people like that, butted out of the house, especially because there's kids, and she's a woman, and oh my God, you can't live with bruises on you all your life. And then getting out of there, and I'm not saying that my dad was a terrible person, it's just whatever came down. Um, I don't know, but it's none of my business. See, that's the thing, is like he has his life, and my mom made sure that I knew that by the time I was, what, 11, of course, just telling me, babe, you have your own life, I have mine. And let me have my friends and blah, 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 and I let you have your friends and stuff really simple like that. She's a good mom that way, really. Any good mother or any good healthy person is that way, really a good friend. She was a good friend to many. Anyway, thanks for listening to this. See, going through Chiron, hitting your Chiron, if you have a Chiron return, if you're near 50, you are going through a stage of re-looking at, like wondering, well, where is it coming from? Why am I so sensitive about a certain thing, a certain way? And it's really intricate, astrology is, because you begin to see and you begin to light up, like within the cardinal aspects and within the trines and all that, what we are dealing with, very much full spectrum, better than anything else. Just like, see, a good therapist they wouldn't be the best without knowing astrology. You're going to a fake counselor if they don't look at your birthday and your astrology and know anything about that, because they can really get an edge. First of all, an astrologer already has an edge. They're naturally somebody who pays attention to what's happening in our lives, which is the truth and experiences of all different kinds of things. You really have to be alert and aware. And people are born astrologers. You can see it in their astrological chart. That's what it's about. It's like, what were you born to do? You look at your chart. Whether it's, wow, whatever it is, you have heavy karma, you have a lot of whatever. It's so intricate. You can't get into any one specific thing, but you can. That's the nature of some lives. Sorry, getting into this nervous tick that I have, I guess. Just energy. It's just energy expending, and some of us have it and would love to pour in, but like the worst, most excruciating thing that they have going on is that you can't do that really. You have to have filtered yourself through the system, right, and gotten your degree or whatever, and now you're doing what, and no, I've seen people they're becoming more holistic with having seen, no, we are involved, especially with the medical system, right, and everything everything needs to be revamped, rehauled, people need to be repositioned. It's not about money making, it's about making sense, and not with the CENTS. Come on now. Talking about common sense, like, oh God, this is going to be tough. And so what I'm talking about is a push. It's coming up in 20 years. If anybody can understand me, like, well, what do you mean? See, a lot of people just don't see past money. Their feelings are fake according to that. I can get into it more and more because, and it's taken a long time to get this clarity. Just to get away from just the fear of death. I, I need to make some money to pay some bills, and I have to override all of that. See, it can really make somebody stressed out. Just worry about it. See, people prey on that. The whole system preys on this illusion of scarcity. I mean, it's a vibrational frequency thing, right? And how do you get interested in going back out there? See, I'm having trouble with it. And I know it's a vibrational frequency thing. It's like, well, draw money off of the other faction, and I'm about to try and do it. I'm gonna write to my community, my town. It's probably the last thing I'm gonna do before I just completely fold up here and fucking sell out and move. And when I say move, I've been I get in my car just a little bit and I drive and I get these flashes. Something tells me I need to be on the road. I will be on the road. It'll be a much better vehicle. It'll be probably a vehicle that I can live in, one that has a bike on the side, being a piece of popcorn. But no, what if I can continue on with what I think that I'm doing here on the internet? Right? No. No, what keeps coming down? But see, I would rather, what I mean is downloading. I would rather be able to be still here. What if this is what I was supposed to do here? Not only just do this, but I want to be still. That's the thing. I don't want to become a piece of popcorn. Thanks for listening to this. Because now I know that life is a process and we get more and more, believe this or not. A lot of people don't like the word still, but what about stable? You just, what about just, you are now radiating. What if you have 30 acres of land, like I said, was talking about the land? More than that, that you're able to. And what if the people around you, it's called ashram. It's the same energy where people just know, it's just like, God, all this process of life. All we need to be is still. And we don't know what we're capable of, babe. We're being attacked and pushed into these positions, really. And so what does it call for now? Set an example somehow. Try to. So you can't prove to people how what's going on with you. So it's none of their business. But really, it's like, if you can pass a smile on to people while the Titanic is going down, and that smile is like a contagion, it's like they caught a whiff of something they've never smelled before in their life. They're like, and guess what? Yes, hi, Jesus. People don't realize that Jesus was so beautiful. That person's presence was shockingly beautiful. There was something about it. It was not only strong, it was soft. It had the ability to turn up the anger and turn it down. It was divine in that way. It did not hesitate to do that kind of emotional alchemy with what? Well, the more and more you interact with people, you're not going to become a gray rock. Not in all your life. And the things that you figure out if you ever get on your own is the same for everybody. And if they don't figure that out, it's like, so you guys are not self-sufficient. Not really. There's that phenomenon going on. And it's like, well, how do we have a solid foundation as a whole or as the collective if they didn't go in one by one and found out what was really going on? Say, just the basics. For everybody, it's the same. For everybody, it's the same. I'm starting to say, if you have a 5-pointer, if you're a 5-pointer, you have boom, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got a head, 2 arms and legs. You're not escaping this profound responsibility, which is just your freedom to dial in on something and do the jig with us here. Now, a lot of people, you get the feeling that the world is made on, no, we don't do the jig. we make our living on not doing the jig. We see the jig, that's boring, and we stick a stick in it. If it's a round wheel perfectly going and it takes a little bit of skill to keep it humming without a squeak, that's boring. Come up, stick a stick in the spokes. Now we got some business and something going on. Yay! It's all the world out there. Oh, really? Making money on that too, huh? All of the energy, really, it's all just the energy that people put into it. Really, it's just a big distraction because you don't know how to keep that shit smooth, do you? You just don't. Something got in there. It's called the schism, by the way. Something got in there and taught you wrong. And it's out there saying, no, this is it. And it's like, why? Well, how does that happen, Shauna? Well, because people need something, right? And they don't have it. And boy, let's look at the insecurity going on. How that it would happen that a gun would rule our lives. Comment section down below. It's very dangerous, by the way. This kind of subject matter, because you can become, you're considered suicidal and blah blah blah. It's like, no, just take your soul back, take your sovereignty back. They can't just kill everybody who says, "Excuse me, stop killing us just because we want a different life." Give us a chance. You people are, bottom line, this is all poisonous, and we're getting sick. I think it's going to come to that point, and this is why it's all getting sick. It doesn't have to be here, but you're making a business on it. It doesn't have to be here. None of it. In fact, you couldn't keep up. People aren't really getting sick anymore, and it's going now. You're putting it, it is happening though. Eat enough red meat. Follow the traditions that says eat these carcasses, and you will. And a lot of times, it's not a coincidence that everybody comes down with the flu at the same time, roundabout when everybody shares a roast beef and all that shit for a holiday. Oh, it's because people get together. No, they're poisoning you with one single fucking thing. Look at it. It's industrialized. It's there. And what's waiting for you? Steaming away is the fucking hospitals. It's sickening because look at the population. I'm beginning to talk about it more and more, and I've been looking at it for a long time without being able to articulate it. All of you are. Well, we're going to start to be able to articulate it. It's going to be so stupid and simple that a 5-year-old's going to be going, "Yep, that's right. I was wondering what was happening here. How come you guys don't see it?" Well, we're under a fucking dark spell. Money, and I'm the voodoo doll, and well, you're the voodoo doll, and I'm the black magician. I'm going to use you. Like, you don't feel it right? No, somebody else will. Here you go. I don't know, man, but look at it. Woo! Where are we going to go? What are we going to do? You see people inside of it, fighting, and they don't have any choice. They're well programmed into it. There isn't any way you can change a lot of people. So, what are we going to do? Something tells me just hunker down. Did I start this out by saying, you know what? Can you relax? Can you just figure out how to just not to do all of that? Is there a place where you can just understand that fucking all of that, the goal is really to just um, be more and more intact without the world? Woo! Scary. Here comes a mob. Hi, Jesus. Was there a mob? No. You're right. Makes sense.